First of all, I'd like to say welcome back to the new year. Hope everybody had a good holiday and got plenty to eat and is ready to start the new year. And we're looking forward to a really nice 2025 at the Sheriff's Office. I'm going to give you a yearly report. I've attached yearly and quarterly reports in the folders in front of you that you can take a look at and read. I added some things into it so that you can kind of look and see what we did for the first 12 months. Attached, you'll find the statistics for the calendar year 2024. The numbers for me were astonishing for a county the size of ours with the minimal population. Those numbers do not include the number of search warrants and drug arrests that have been made, but I did attach that documentation for you as well in the back. You'll see there's like the stapled report, and then there's some addition in the back. 2024 was a busy year. With a new administration and many new faces, the Alleghany County Sheriff's Office went above and beyond my expectations. Deputies perform a variety of tasks that the general public does not know about. Most people see a deputy and they figure that they are either writing tickets or they're arresting someone, and that is simply not the case. That is a big part of their job, but I'm here to let you know that being a deputy sheriff is a very demanding job. I worked alongside deputies in this county for over 25 years and never really knew what they did until I became the sheriff and saw how much work they do accomplish. Our dispatch center answered an average of 45 complaints per day. It does not count the phone calls asking what the road conditions are or people asking for rides, and they actually do call us and ask for rides. Or they all call and ask for legal assistance, and we don't give that either. Not only do they answer thousands of fire and EMS calls, which were an average of 16 per day, they also have to assign IBR numbers to every case that's generated, CAD numbers to every incident that a deputy is involved in, and there are only 2 to 3 of them working on each shift. Our patrol division answers those 45 calls per day. They're the ones that respond, plus 29 civil papers per day, 3 felony or misdemeanor arrests per day, 1,709 miles driven per day. That's in a 24-hour period. They're conducting safety checks, answering calls, and patrolling your neighborhoods. Our jail division processed 3 inmates per day, performed daily duties or 2 walkthroughs of the entire jail per hour, 124 miles per day traveled, transporting 340 inmates and consuming 4 hours per day on average. These transports can be to return an inmate back to Alleghany County, doctor appointments, court appearance, and other jurisdictions, as well as many other reasons. Our jail population averaged 86 inmates per day over the last quarter, and it's probably about that for the year. Our jail division personnel processed nearly 1,000 inmates into the facility and released approximately 1,000 inmates, which averaged 5 per day. Our VDOT work crew consisted of 60 inmates total that performed over 1,500 hours of work for VDOT. That, with the county being reimbursed over $53,000 from VDOT. Our crisis intervention team conducted 311 transports for a total of over 10,000 miles and over 1,000 hours. Our medical staff managed nearly 300 requests from inmates to be treated for mental health issues. 95 of those screenings were positive for a person that was in need of assistance. 165 inmates were sent for treatment outside of the jail, and 182 were treated within the confines of the jail. That doesn't count vaccines, COVID tests performed, and answering numerous phone calls on their days off in reference to inmates that may be complaining of certain ailments. Our investigations division opened 119 new cases, served 237 search warrants, closed 86 cases, and conducted 205 interviews. 25 trips to deliver evidence to the Division of Forensic Science in Roanoke, Numerous social service complaints were answered, child advocacy interviews, and cyber tips regarding child sexual predators. 59 electronic devices were seized as part of investigations. Many firearms and vehicles as well as cash was seized. And we conducted numerous presentations to children and parents about internet safety. Drug Task Force investigators seized over 16 different types of drugs, ranging from methamphetamines, approximately 1.5 pounds, fentanyl, and numerous prescription medications that were being illegally sold or used. One investigator was also chosen this year, actually last year, to attend the Department of Forensics Evidence Technician class, which will be held in April of this year. And that will greatly benefit our investigation division. Our animal control officer, and you'll notice on the sheet of paper you have, there's a line there. He answered 1,935 calls. And then I just wanted to add there, the part-time animal control officer that you authorized last year was a tremendous help to our animal control officer, because that is, as I've said before, that's our busiest deputy that we have. Many people like their pets. Is that, be glad to answer any questions that you may have regarding anything that we just discussed.
Just looking at these numbers, just the drugs that were confiscated.
Yes, sir.
And just in our little area, you 1.23, well, 1 pound, about 1.25 pounds of methamphetamine, over an ounce of fentanyl. That's, or almost an ounce of fentanyl. And what, a pinhead is enough to kill you?
That's just what's being found
right
now, and that's with one investigator. I'm working every way I possibly can to try and put another person on the drug task force. We actually have a command board meeting on the 9th, this Thursday, to discuss issues with local drug population. So we do have a problem in our community, and it's not getting any easier to fight.
How does this compare to the surrounding counties that are in your task force? Are they seeing these same numbers and percentages?
No, sir. The majority of the work from the Drug Task Force, the Alleghany Highlands Drug Task Force, is done in the city of Covington, the town of Clifton Forge, and Alleghany County. I would be willing to say over 90%.
What's your suggestion for educating and trying to?
Well, we're trying the education part. We're trying to get into the schools. We have the 2 DARE officers that are teaching. Our 5th graders, I think, is the age that they're teaching. We're trying to get into the high school with a program. We haven't got it completed yet. We're really at the beginning stages of it, but I'm trying to get some volunteers who have had problems with drugs in their past to come forward and go into the school system with police officers to explain what drugs did to them and how it basically ruined their life. And I think that's going to be a hit. We have had requests for that, but we have to do that in the right way. We can't just rush in there with anybody. You'll have to vet the person going in as well to make sure that they present themselves in a proper manner in the school system. One suggestion that I have, and I know, you know, it's not going to be a popular one, but if I had another investigator to put on that thing full time, we could really go at it pretty hard. I have requested from the state police that they assign another drug agent up here from their Bureau of Criminal Investigations as well, and I'm going to talk to the captain Thursday, when they come up for the command board meeting also, to see if he can spare another officer to come up and work full-time up here. But we have the same problem that most counties in our region have. You know, lack of personnel and too many drugs.
I was on the phone doing the math or looking at my calculator for the grams seized, and I don't know if it had been asked, but Were these task force seizures or deputy seizures?
That's task force seizures right there.
Okay.
We've even contemplated if we had another officer that we could just put on a county task force. And that would help us tremendously money-wise, because we would get all the money that we seized or confiscated. But, you know, on the other hand, we would have to be fronting a lot of things as well that the state police provides us at no cost.
Are these yearly totals?
I provided you yearly totals and quarterly totals there, Dr. Goins. The one sheet is for yearly, and then there should be another one in there that's for the quarter.
Okay. Specifically, marijuana is legal in the
It's legal to a
state
degree.
of Virginia.
Yes,
State
sir.
of Virginia.
It's legal to a degree. You
So
can't
are
sell it.
these things that people are trying to sell,
Yes, sir.
and you're catching them?
Sell or possessing large amounts. Over an ounce is illegal to possess unless you have a prescription and those kinds of things. It's illegal to sell, it's illegal to trade for, it's illegal to buy. You can grow your own if you know how to cultivate it and properly manage it. And that's the only legal way to actually possess it unless you have a doctor's prescription.
Yeah, you've got marijuana, 1,000 grams.
Yes, sir.
That works out to what, 18 ounces?
No, there's 400 and some.
No, I think it's a lot more than that.
It's about 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
But the problem we run into with marijuana is that every car we stop smells like marijuana. You can't ask anybody to search their car based upon the smell anymore.
Now you got vapes and everything else.
You got vapes, you got, there's all kinds of drugs that are being covered up by the smell of marijuana nowadays. We had to retrain every dog, every canine in the state of Virginia had to be retrained or taken out of service, and that was about $10,000 per dog when that law was passed.
Can I ask, following up on what Mr. Griffith asked a while ago, do you think our problem in the Alleghany Highlands is worse, say, in Rockbridge County, or are y'all just more aggressive at going after it?
No, sir, I don't think it's any worse, and I don't think we're more aggressive. I think they have the same problem we do. They've got small towns with unemployment, Buena Vista per se, and they've got other areas over there that are going through the same stuff we are. It's you got a big city, you got Roanoke, you got Richmond, you got Waynesboro, Harrisonburg, Stanton area. Those are the areas where large amounts are being brought into, and they're farming it out to the smaller communities. We've got a major interstate that runs through our county. We've got access to Indiana, Kentucky, and Newport News. Be awful scary, yes, sir.
One other point, I've made it before, I'd like to make it again, is I think Mr. Nice and I both were on board when we built the regional jail in Covington.
Yes, sir.
And we felt like it was plenty big enough, and we had the capacity we needed, we had the growth we needed. The difference is, when we built that 30 years ago, we did not have the drug problem that we have now.
Yes, sir.
That's what has made the job. I'm just guessing, but I bet you 50% or better of the people in your jail, it's either there because of drugs or something stupid that they did because of drugs.
Oh, yes, sir.
We built the
I'd be
jail
willing to say
big
it's
enough.
probably about 85%.
Okay, you just made my point. We built the jail big enough. We did not make a mistake. We just got blindsided by a new form of...
Well, the jail was built in 2000, roughly, and it was built for 56 inmates as a regional jail. At the time, I'm not sure that other regional jails were farming inmates out, but currently we farm out about 18 to 20 every day because of either they don't get along in the pod they're in, they have enemies. There's many reasons why we would pay to have an inmate stay at another location. They pay us sometimes to keep their inmates, family members who work at that jail, or different things like that. And 56 beds, it was full the day they opened it up. And we average about 90 inmates every day. We had as many as 105 a month ago. And that's when we really had to start saying, hey, we've got to start getting some people in other jails. And
My point is, we do not deal with the idea of drugs. And
Right.
It was not a problem. That kind of problem 25 years ago.
well, there's always a different kind of crime that comes. I remember when methamphetamines was starting to get big. It was in Missouri, it was in the Midwest, and then eventually it made its way into Virginia. And then the next thing you know, we had meth labs. The next thing you know, we had another type of drug. Next thing you know, we have fentanyl. What'll be next?
Ohio, Kentucky are always
Yes, sir.
melting spot.
Yes,
We had,
sir.
the pills took off.
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia coming this way.
Oxy. Yes, sir.
But all you can do is.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're more than welcome.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, I think we'll be talking later.
I hope so.